All right, guys, welcome back to Coffee Cafe. We have one more day left to go. Last week we finished the 6th of June. Now today is Friday, June 7th, and let's see what has happened here. And we are currently on General Journal number 2, right in the middle of it. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Okay. We hired LV Remodeling, all right, to remodel the store. Okay. Is there any transaction here? Is there any transaction here? No, because all we did was just hire them, right? There's no bill yet, and we didn't get the quote amount, nor did we pay them yet. Okay. So then, right after Miss Kim Robinson, right, we received a bill from Kim Robinson, okay, of her recommendations, okay, and she billed us for $1,000, and it's due in 4 days, I think. Yes. Oh, sorry, 3 days. It's due in 3 days, okay, and it's gonna be invoice number 1542. So in this case, right, I received a bill, and it's due in 3 days. I'm not going to pay for it yet. Okay? But it's due in 3 days. So let's determine what account am I going to associate this $1,000 bill?
Would it be labor expense?
Not labor expense. In this case, I'm going to treat this as a business expense because all she did was come to the store and give us a recommendation. She didn't do much. She didn't really work on the store. In this case, I'm just going to write her off as a business expense. However, how do I represent this bill? Did I pay Kim Robinson? Do I owe Kim Robinson? Okay. So therefore, it's a liability. So if you need to go take a look at your chart of accounts under liabilities, what do you think it possibly could be? Now, notes payable is when I can choose to fluctuate my payments. Now, in this case, this is a bill and it's due in 3 days.
So it's accounts payable because it's a bill coming that you're gonna
That's
be owing.
correct. Accounts payable. So accounts payable is account number 20,000. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that business expense account. What is my business expense account?
6,200.
6,200. So first things first is we're recognizing a business expense has occurred for $1,000. Now in this case, because I received a bill and I now owe Kim Robinson some money, I'm going to increase my accounts payable with a debit with a credit. In this case, right? How do we increase liabilities? With a credit. Okay? So here, you pretty much have all the information you have already. You don't need anything else. So first things first is the person that you worked with was Ken Robinson. Okay. This was invoice number 1542. Okay. The bill is due in 3 days. Okay. And this was interior design. Right? We got the invoice number 1542 and extra things here. We have the consultation. Okay. All right. So now we completed our journal. Okay. So next is going to be placing it into our general ledger. Okay. So let's see what came first. We first have a business expense. All right. So I'm going to go, toggle here to my expenses. Should be at the very top. We got advertising, bank feeds. Here you go. Business expense. Right? Here you can write whatever note that you want. So in this case, as this business expenses, I'm going to say interior design consultation fee. Right? General journal number 2. Okay? And I'm going to be debiting for $1,000 because that's what the bill said it was. Okay? Okay. And then next account that we have here is an accounts payable. So our not very first liability account, but a very first entry into the accounts payable account. Okay. So we go to liabilities. All right. This is going to be the first of many. So 6, 7. And here I'm just going to put invoice number 1542. And I think that's good enough because I have a subsidiary ledger. I can look up my bill for 1542 and find that it is Ms. Kim Robinson and it is for $1,000 and I can know exactly what it was for. Okay? I don't need to put in all the information because this bill right here already sums it up. Okay? Post reference once again is general journal number 2. And this time, right, we credited my account for $1,000. So therefore, my credit balance should reflect as $1,000 right now. But as we go through all of this, right, we will be constantly adding to our liabilities and maybe paying our liabilities, right? So for now, we're not going to do the formula yet until we enter in our second one, okay? All right, so there we go. Last but not least, we need to fill in our subsidiary ledger because this time we dealt with a vendor, right? So I believe it's alphabetical, and because it's an independent contractor, it's going to go by last name. So right here, Robinson Kim. Okay. Date is 7/6. Notes is going to be interior design consult. our consultation. Okay. Invoice number 1542. Okay. Post reference, once again, General Journal number 2. Terms. Now, in this case, she did give me terms, but there's no discount in that terms. It was just net 3. So, therefore, no discount date. However, there is an actual due date. So, if you, for Excel, what you can do is you can go ahead and go into the date column and add 3, and that will bring you your due date. So in this case, it is due on June 10. All right, let's do that formula one more time. I'm going to cell reference my date right here, and I'm going to add 3. And that should bring up your date in 3 days because it's due in 3 days, right? She gave us net 3. So that means it's going to be due on June 10. Okay? We did not pay for in advance, yes? Okay. So it's equal the date. So I put June 7, right? And you're going to add 3 to that. And enter. Okay. No prepaid amounts. However, we did get the bill information to be $1,000. Okay. There's no returns and allowances, no discounts, and we definitely did not pay for it today. We're going to pay it for it later. So in this case, right, if I punch in my formula right here, which is going to equal your invoice amount, right, minus any prepaid, minus any returns, minus any discounts, minus any payments. And that should give me right now that I owe Kim Robinson $1,000. Okay. This down below here is going to be an equal sum of all the invoices that you have here. So therefore, right now, I owe Kim Robinson in grand total $1,000. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. Right? So there we have it. That was just recording our very first bill. Okay. So then let's see what happened next. We received from furniture store. Okay. Assume that delivery charges is split. 75% for the counter and 25% to the shelves. Okay. So here is a bill. I'm going to shrink it just a bit so we can see everything. So there we are. Okay. So here is the bill that we received. All right. We received it on June 7, all right? Invoice number 69 to Coffee Cafe, all right, from Furniture Store. We have net 15 going on, all right? It's delivered to the store. Let's see what happens. We bought 1 counter and 5 display shelves. And we got taxed, and we need to split the delivery charges of $100, okay? So therefore, the total is $1,770.30. So in this case, right, I received a bill. And in this case, I'm not going to pay for it yet. So in this case, right, it is another accounts payable account. Now, with that being said, what did we buy? What did we purchase?
Furniture.
Yes, but okay, now let's more specifically, what kind of furniture?
Oh, counter,
Mm-hmm.
which is 13020,
Mm-hmm.
and 13040 display shelves.
Good. So 1320 and 1340. So we bought a counter and display shelves. Okay. Account number 13020, 13040. Right? And last but not least, we have an accounts payable, right? Because we owe furniture store some money. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go off to the side real quick of the journal because we need to split a lot of things. We need to, let's take a look. What is going to be contributed in the total cost of a fixed asset?
Price, tax, and delivery charge.
Price, tax, and a delivery charge, right? Everything to get the items to the store, but also to get it ready for service. Now, again, a counter, pretty straightforward, right? It's already made exactly the way it is. And display shows, you don't need to do much to get it ready in service. So in this case, let's go ahead and check it out because we see here that the counter, right, the price of the counter is $10.33, right? And the price of the display shelves was $510. Okay? So first things first is we need to split the tax on this. Okay? So how do you split the tax on these items?
So you take the purchase price and multiply by 8.25%. So we know how much you pay.
Good. Okay. And then we have $100 worth of freight. So we have 75 and 25, right? Because 75 of 100 is $75. 25% of 100 is $25. So here, right, let's take a look.
What's the formula to split the tax again?
It's to you're just gonna times it by the times the selling price by the tax. It's prorated, as in like you're gonna multiply by the tax rate. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and add these numbers up. Okay. So let's see. All right, let's see. In this case, we have 22, and we're gonna have to round this up, right? So we have 1193.22, and then 572.08 is going to be our numbers. So 111.93.22, and then we have 572.08, and we can double confirm if that gives us 11. Ooh, no, it's not. Did I typo something? Huh. Let's see.
It's in the digit that you put for the. No, never mind.
Let's review what the tax is. Oh, it's 25. My bad. There you go. Okay, so it's actually 577.08. There you go. 11.70 and 30 cents. So there you go, right? We took the selling price, right? Because that's what the asset is costing right now. We need to multiply it by the tax, right? Which I get $85.22, and I get $42.08 for the display shelves. Okay, because it's 7.5. I have to round up. Where up here it's 2.22. So in this case, that stays at 2. So, and then I need to add the shipping costs, which was a total of $100, which I've indicated right there that the counter is obviously going to weigh a lot heavier than the display shelves. Display shelves, it could be really light. It could possibly be heavy, but not as heavy as a counter. So in this case, right, I just took a look at what I have in the items, and I said, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you that 75% of that, the shipping cost should be dedicated to the counter, because the counter is going to weigh a lot heavier, while the rest should go to the shelves. Okay? So this again is a guesstimation, and it's based on whatever your accountant's going to tell you to do. All right? You're not going to sit there and weigh each one and actually get the actual decimal percentage or the exact amount to split the shipping cost, because once again, that's going to be more work for you. But also, if your accountant tells you that you want the exact weight, then we'll give you the exact weight. But in this case, I told you that 75% should be to the counter and 25% should be to the display shelf. So in this case, I split the shipping 75 and 25, and then I add up my totals to get a total right here. So this is the total of each asset. Okay, so my counter is now a total of $1193.22, and my display shelves is $577.08, giving me a grand total of my bill to be the $1770.30. All right, so everything here now pans out. All right, my journals match, my debits and my credits match, my my journal also matches my bill, right? I have the bill for $11.70 and 30 cents. Okay. Here we also have all the information we need to fill in the description, because in this case, I'm not paying for it yet. I am just being billed for it. So in this case, this was for the furniture store. Okay. This was invoice number 69. Okay. And I have net 15 to pay. And I think that should be good enough. Right? If you want to add any information such as how you split the cost, how you did this, it's up to you. If you want to say 75% went to the counter and 25% of shipping went to the display shelves, it doesn't matter. All right. So there we have it. Okay.
Sorry, where did you get the net 15 from?
On the bill. Yep,
Yeah,
right here,
yeah.
net 15.
Thank you.
So my question is, why we have to split this account since it's coming from the same invoice number?
Because when we later on, we're going to have to depreciate each one. You can't depreciate counter and display shelves as the same item. So that's why we have to split those two furniture accounts, because we will be depreciating each and every single one of them. Okay.
Can I see the math on the side, please, for the shipping for the counter? How much was it? $75 and $25, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Okay. Now, since we are here on our journal and we finally received our counter and our display shelves, I'm going to go ahead and verify on my purchase orders that I received my counter and display shelves. Okay? Because as a purchasing manager, right, you need to make sure that you do look at your purchase orders and make sure that you did receive it. Because oftentimes, if you forget to do it, right, you will think that you'd be waiting for the purchase order to arrive, but you just forgot to record it. Or in this case, right, when you're looking for something that you've purchased, right, or if you forgot to put a purchase order in, then therefore you can investigate to see, did you actually do it. And in this case, we did actually receive our our display shelves and our counter. So in this case, we actually got our very second one, because we're still waiting for our desk. All right, and this is invoice number 69. Okay, that way we can guarantee that if we do call the vendor, right, we could say that we received the shipment or there isn't any problems with the shipment. But if, let's say, it's already the middle of June and all of a sudden we don't see our desk, we could kind of call the vendor, be like, hey, where is my desk right now? I've ordered it. Did you receive my purchase orders? I sent it in on June 6th. Did you receive it? Yada, yada, yada. And they can tell you, it's currently shipping right now. You should be receiving it soon. Or, I guess we didn't receive your order. So there's many reasons why you should definitely keep track of the things that you purchase. Okay. And there we go. Now I validated and I made sure that I actually received the purchase order. Okay. So now that we've done that, now we need to go ahead and enter this into our general ledger. Okay. So first things first is we bought a counter. So that's an asset, right? We bought some fixed assets. Okay. First thing that we bought was a counter, and then we bought display shelves. So furniture should just be right above. So here's furniture here. Here's my counter. Okay. 6, 7. Now this is where you can choose to either say what the counter it consists of. So in this case, I could say that the counter was originally for $10.95, right? Plus 8.25% and $75 to for shipping. So $10.33 plus 8.25% tax plus $75 shipping. Okay. General journal number 2, and we're going to debit the account for the $11.93.22. And once again, That's just going to be my beginning balance in my debit account.
Okay, I'm behind. Where are you at on the assets on your general ledger?
I'm under the furniture, under specifically the counter.
What row number is it?
What number?
Row number.
Row number let's see, 329.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, so there we go. I have a counter for $11.93.22. All right,
One more minute to catch up, please.
no worries. So again, your notes are going to be whatever that you want to put in there. All right. If it makes sense to you to put everything in there, such as the billing information too, it's up to you. But I don't think it's as necessary because it doesn't matter who you purchase this from. It's the fact that you just bought a counter. Okay.
Are we gonna do the account payable section next, or this is that?
No. We have to do the display shelves. And then we do the accounts payable. So right now we're just finishing up our first asset, right? If you scroll up, no worries. If you scroll down a couple, you should see your display shelves. Okay. So once again, the display shelves is, we bought it on the 7th of June. Notes here, you could say it was for $510 plus 8.25% tax. Okay. Plus $25 for shipping. Okay. Once again, this transaction is on General Journal number 2. And my amount that I'm going to debit is going to be for $577.08. Which, once again, my debit balance is going to be the same. Okay. Right. And then last but not least, we need to go ahead and update our liability account for our accounts payable. So this is where we're going to enter in our formula so we can calculate how much we owe in grand total. Okay. So here we are at accounts payable. Again, it is the 7th, and this is invoice number 69. That's all you need, because you can always look up that information. We're still on General Journal number 2. Okay? And this time we credited our account for $17.70 and 30 cents. Okay? And in this case, right, we increased our liability. So now this formula is going to work in the opposite direction than your debits and your assets your expenses, because this time it has a credit balance. All right? So the formula here, we're going to be in our credit column, okay? And it's going to equal your previous balance plus your credits minus your debits. Okay? So once again, your previous balance plus your credits minus your debits. Okay? So in Excel terms, or I guess in this case, it'd be equal up 1 plus left 2 minus left 3 cells. Okay? And what this formula does is, now that every time I pay for a bill, it's going to subtract. Every time I increase a bill or receive a bill, it's going to increase my accounts payable. So in this case, I jumped from $1,000 to now $2,770.30. Okay? And this is where you could actually drag the formula down if you'd like. All right? Any questions here?
Did you do the 1,000 with the formula, or you just punch it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The one on top.
Mm-hmm.
When I drag it down, it doesn't bring the number. So
Yeah. If you write it, if you type it in, it will not bring up the answers. And if you are gonna type everything in, you would have to manually do every single one. In this case, I cell referenced, which allows Excel to just go ahead and pull the previous one every single time, because I have my cells as relative. It moves along. Okay? They're not staying still. So in this case, my cells are relevant. So they're going to pull the information of the next cell as I move down each row. All right. So in this case, that's what I did. Now, I did up 1 plus left 2 minus left 3. Okay. Last but not least, we now need to go to our subsidiary ledger because we received our first bill. So furniture store should be under F. Okay, H. Here's Haley. Furniture store. Okay. It's the 7th of June. What do you want to write the notes here for? You can say purchased, counter, and display shelves. Okay. You can put the invoice number 69, right? Post reference, once again, we are still on general journal number 2. Terms, okay? In this case, right? What did my bill say for terms? Net 15. So in this case, they didn't give us a discount, but they gave us net 15. All right, so no discount due date. Okay. However, we do know that it's going to be 15 days from now. All right. So in this case, I took my date. I'm going to add 15 days to it, and it is due on the 22nd of June. Okay. Prepaid accounts, we didn't make any payments beforehand, but our invoice number is for $17.70 and 30 cents. All right. Once again, I didn't pay for it, so therefore I owe it. Okay, so let's put that formula in there. Okay, because not only did I buy display shelves in the counter from furniture store, I also bought a desk set. So in this case, I would prefer to go ahead and enter in the formula, and I would drag it down. So in this case, right, formula is invoice amount minus your prepaid minus your returns and allowances minus any discounts and minus any payments. So in this case, I owe $17.70 and 30 cents. And here, my equal sum formula is already intact. So therefore, I owe furniture store in grand total $17.70 and 30 cents. Right? Okay. So let's go ahead and continue on with our scenario. All right. So we entered in our bill for the furniture. All right. And then what did we do here?
Created a purchase order.
We created another purchase order to the furniture store. This time, what did we buy? Okay.
Bistro tables and chairs.
Yes. So here we have it, right? I'm in my purchase orders, right? Because I'm just ordering my tables, right? No real transaction has happened because I did not receive my items, nor did I pay for them, nor did I receive a bill for them. So in this case, I'm just strictly just requesting for an order to happen. So here on June 7, right? It PO number 170304, right? And who did I purchase this from? Furniture store. What did I buy? Tables and chairs, right? And for what estimated amount? $6,055.50. Okay. So once again, a purchase order does not affect the journal whatsoever. So now that I entered that information in my purchase orders, I can go ahead and move on for. So then, what has happened here? What happened to the down payment?
You have to cancel that check because you wrote the wrong amount.
Right, that's correct. In this case, right, we wrote for the wrong amount, so we're going to issue a revised purchase order, and we're also going to rewrite a new check. Okay? So in this case, right, how should I do this? I want you to use the reverse and re-entry method. Okay? So in this case, right, I made a mistake in my journal and I wrote them the wrong check amounts because someone recalculated and found out that 1/3 is not 1140, it's actually 1171.87. So in this case, right, I need to do a couple things. I need to, first off, I'm going to journalize this. And the way to fix this error in this journal is I'm going to use the reverse and re-entry method. So in this case, right, let's do that first, and then we'll go from there and void our check, revise the purchase order, and then rewrite a new check. Okay? So first things first is, how do I reverse and re-entry how do I correct this error in my journal using the reverse and re-entry?
You have to debit checking and create prepaid.
Yes, good, right? We have to basically, essentially, we need to put the money back into our checking account, or in this case, void the check. Okay. Checking is 10,100. And let's see, prepaid accounts is 18,600. Okay. Now, what was my original amount that I actually put in there?
$1140.22.
1140.22, right? I could easily do that by looking at my check number, right? If I go to my checking or my check register, here I just wrote them a checkout on 1506, which I wrote indicated right here. Void the check 1506. So in this case, that's how I picked up that information. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my general journal, and I'm going to reverse this entry because what I'm essentially doing is I'm going to void that check. Okay. So in this case, let's go back to my check register and actually void it. Okay. So therefore, that's all I can do right now. I can't cross it out. I can't delete it, because if I do, then that 1,040.22 could, propose to be someone taking money from the account, right? So in this case, I'm going to leave the transaction there, but I'm going to add additional thing right there that says it's been voided. Okay. And what I'm going to write here is to correct okay. In this, I put to correct. Actually, you could put to reverse. I think that would be better. To reverse transaction on June 6th. Okay. For down payment. All right. So in this case, right, I still want you to go ahead and do your ledger first, and then we will do our subsidiary last. Okay. So in this case, let's continue and put this back into our ledger so we can undo our mistake right here. So first thing I gotta do is gotta go to checking, right? Because now, since I voided the check,
Which one are you in now?
I'm in the general ledger. Okay, I'm under my checking account because now I have to reverse everything.
You're in your general ledger under assets?
Yes.
Which one are you?
Yes, I'm under my assets checking.
Checking.
It should be at the very top of the window.
Checking.
This is once again journal number 2. Okay, and now that we're reversing the transaction, we're debiting my account for the $11.40 and 22 cents, right? Which then should bring my account back up to $11.36.129. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop down to my prepaid accounts because I have to undo that one as well. So that should be towards the bottom. Okay. Here we go. Prepaid accounts. Okay. 6, 7. And what I'm going to do here is okay. So you go to reverse down payment for purchase order 17303. Okay. General journal number 2, since we're still there. And this time I need to credit my account because I'm reversing, I'm canceling this 11.40 and 22 cents, which then my formula tells me that it's going to drop back down to $6,654.17.
Hold up, I'm lost. Can you show the whole screen on this, on your left side?
This is the whole screen.
For your assets.
This is the whole screen.
No, it's half a screen. You
Uh,
got something on one side and
uh,
the other one on the other side.
this is the
Can
whole
you open
screen.
it up?
I did open it up. It's the whole screen.
So it starts at post reference. Where's the part that says date and item?
On can everyone else see my screen? Because I have the date, the item, and the post reference. I have everything there. Anybody else see something different?
That says item and the date.
The date, item, post reference, everything's displayed.
All I'm seeing, it starts at post reference. Then you have the debit, the credit, and the normal balance. Can you go over a little more?
I mean, I don't know how. If can everyone else? Is everyone else's screen seeing the same thing?
That might be you, Kim.
Okay.
You
Well,
have anything else open there? You have a split
I'm
sheet.
just
I mean, I could
no,
carry this over here.
no,
Is that better?
yes. Yeah, now I can see the whole thing where it says date and it says item. That's what I was asking for. That part right there.
Okay, because on my screen, I just dragged it right in the middle of the screen. So I'm covering everything else. So it might be a screen, something that's
4500 item. Okay, 3 months. Okay. All right. Thank you.
okay. Is everyone here now?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. We reverse the entry. Okay. So then now we have a few things that we have to do. We need to revise the purchase order because the purchase order tells me that I originally made my down payment for $1140. So in this case, I'm going to go to my purchase orders. Okay. And this is what I'm going to do. It's not too much of a big deal. But I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to say that I revised this one. Okay. By putting a letter R. Now, in this case, right, whoever the purchasing manager is, they're going to reissue basically another purchase order, but attach that R on there to represent that this has been a revised purchase order. So therefore, it's saying that I submitted 1171 instead of 1140. All right, so that's what that little R stands for. Now, of course, I'm not going to have the actual legitimate purchase order per se, but this is just so that I can make a note that I've made revisions to this purchase order and that I'm sending in another down payment for the correct amount. Okay. So now that I have that R on my 303 purchase order, I can now go ahead and go to my journal, and now I can enter it in for the correct amount. All right, because this is now, we're going to be entering it in. This is the re-entry part of the journal. Okay, so in this case, same journal, except this time I'm going to put in the correct amount. So I'm going to redo my prepaid accounts. Okay. And I'm going to rewrite my check. Okay. Right. So prepaid was 18,600 and checking was 10,100. Okay. And this time, for what amount am I going to place in here? What's the correct version here?
The 1171.87.
1171.87. Okay. All right. I have to reissue a new check. Okay. So therefore, before I finish our journal, I need to go and get my check number. Okay. So in this case, what check number am I writing?
1507.
Good. For how much? Is 87? Yes, 87.
1171.87.
And once again, I am writing this out to Haley Bros. So check number 1507 is the one I'm going to write. So now I'm going to go ahead and place my note here that I am okay for purchase order number R. Okay. We wrote check number 1507, and this is 1/3 down. Okay, because I revised the purchase order to reflect the correct amount, and here I wrote a check number to reissue for the correct amount. Okay, so now my journal has been completed. All right, so then now we must visit back to our ledger because this time we need to enter in the correct amounts. So we just left off of the prepaid accounts, which is perfect because that's the account that I need to place that money in back into. So here, right, date is going to be 6/7. And now this is going to be 1/3 down payment. Okay, on purchase order number 170303R. And this time, this is check number 1507. Okay. We're still on general journal number 2, and this time we're going to debit the amount for the 1171.87. So now, because I put my formula in there, it has now recalculated, saying that now it's jumped up to $7,826.04. Okay. Everyone good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, right, we have to go all the way up to the very top because we now have to reflect that in our checking account that we need to subtract this money out. So once again, it is June 7, Now this time, I just write in that I issued check number 1507. Okay. Now here you could, okay, so it's general journal number 2. And this time, we're crediting our account because now we wrote another check out. And it's for the 1171.87, which, therefore, now my account balance in my bank account is now $10,189.42. Okay. So then last but not least, we need to update our subsidiary ledger because we made some revisions to the purchase order and we also wrote out another check. So here we are. I want you to go ahead and enter in this box right here that this check has been voided. Okay. Now I don't want you to delete this transaction or modify it in any way because once again, this is our way of keeping track of our transactions. Okay. I want you to enter into the second line because in this case, we caught our mistake a day later. So I want to make sure that we have a trail of transactions saying, well, this is what happened at first. And then now this is what happened the next day. So in this case, right, I wrote that I voided it right here. Okay. But I'm still going to piece in the same information up here, right? I'm still going to say this is 1/3 down payment. Okay. But the only difference here is I wrote a check number 1507. Okay. Now, the difference between the first one and the second one is the first one says I voided it. All right, I voided this transaction. That means this transaction ceased to exist. But I still had to keep it there because I still wrote them a check 1506 and they received it. And they called me up and said, this is for the wrong amount. So either way, at the end of the day, I still want to make sure that I keep this transaction because that prevents me from making a fraudulent charge by taking that check number 1506, right? And making sure that I actually voided it instead of delete it right off my books because that will look like I frauding with that 1140, okay? In this case, the invoice is going to be PO number 170303R because I made revisions to it. Okay. Post reference is general journal number 2. Oh, I don't know why I don't have it up here. But it should be general journal number 2. Okay. Of course, we didn't receive a bill yet. So all of this stuff is not going to be there. But the invoice, I want you guys to just continue, just understand what I'm doing. It will make more sense when we actually receive our bill on how I want to use this. So in this case, right, just go ahead and write that that the bill was for $1171.87, and then I paid for it with my check 1507. So therefore, I owe Haley Brothers nothing. They owe me a commercial coffee brewer and a commercial coffee grinder. So in this case, this amount's going to be applied to the bill itself. So they don't really owe me any money, okay? because this money is going to go towards the bill. While I don't owe them any money either because, first off, I haven't even seen the bill yet. It hasn't even come to me yet. So in this case, I want you to just go ahead and just enter in this transaction just like how I have it, right? It will make sense when we receive our first bill for the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder. Okay? And that's that right there. Okay. Okay, so now that has happened, right? And we posted to our subsidiary ledger. So let's go ahead and see what happened next. Okay. So it looks like we received another bill from furniture store. Okay. And this time, what is this one for? It's for the desk set. Now, once again, it's the only thing that I bought for this round, right? And the tax is already there and the shipping is already included. So in this case, what is my total grand amount that this desk is worth? Correct. It is right now at $658 and I think it's 37 cents. Okay. So with that being said, do I have an account called Desk?
$13.03.
Mm-hmm. Right? And it's for 65837. Okay, 65837. Okay. Now in this case, I received a bill and what's my terms going to be?
Net 15.
Net 15. So in this case, I'm not going to pay for it today. So I'm going to place it where? I received another bill and I choose not to pay for it today.
Accounts
Yes,
payable.
we're going to put it on accounts payable. Which is account number 20,000. Okay. And it's going to be for the same amount of $658.37. Okay. And here we have all the information that we need, right? This vendor is from the furniture store. Right? Invoice is number 71. Okay? And the terms I have here is another net 15. So they're still not giving me any discounts here. In this case, I only bought one desk set, which already includes the shipping and it includes the tax here. So I don't need to put any other extra information in regards to this. So it should be 658.37. since I am already here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I check mark that I received my purchase order. Because in this case, right, my desk finally came in. All right. And this time it was invoice number 71. Right? If it helps you, you can add an extra column here so you can put the date of when you received the item. But in this case, once again, you're not the purchasing manager here. You're just making sure that whatever purchase order that you sent out, you received. That's it. Okay. Now that we posted, now we finish our journal, we need to post to the ledger. So under assets, we have a desk set. Okay, I found my desk set. Line number 345. Okay. It is June 7. In this case, it's up to you if you want to add whatever you want to add. So, you could say the desk set was worth $562. $562. Okay. General journal number 2, because we're still on there. We're reaching the very bottom of it though. And let's see, debit or credit. In this case, we definitely debited our account for $658.37. Okay. Then we have another liability. So once again, I'm increasing the amount of money that I owe. This time, this is invoice number 71. Same page. And this time, we're going to increase it by $658.37, which should then increase my accounts payable to now to be $3,428.67. Okay. last section here is that we need to enter the information into our subsidiary ledger. So furniture stores right above Haley Bros. Okay. Now this is a completely separate invoice now. All right. So what did we purchase? We purchased a desk set. All right. This time, this was invoice number 71, general journal number 2. And what was my terms again? I think it was the same thing here, net 15. So therefore, what is my actual due date?
Isn't it the same?
Yes, June 22nd. Okay. But this time, the invoice amount is for $658.37, which we didn't make a payment to. So therefore, I owe a total of $658.37 for my invoice number 71. Now, if you had this as a total at the bottom, right? If I drag this formula all the way down, it should say that I currently owe furniture store $2,428.67 in grand total. So that's including invoice number 69 and invoice number 71. All right, this is what my grand total amount is that I owe this vendor. But as you can see, they are split into 2 different invoices. Okay? Okay? All right. So I'm actually going to stop here. Because we're almost, so when we come back, we will go ahead and complete the trial balance. So right now it is